Dozens to find jobs when a multi-million-dollar wind power project starts. The modernization of the Statistical Department is on track. And in sports, the West Indies triumph in the one-day series in Bangladesh.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
And a very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the Saturday, October 15th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, over 60 jobs are expected to come on stream when a new $25 million wind power project takes shape in Barbados next year. It's the initiative of Repower Barbados Inc., a domestic renewable energy developer which is building the 5.6 megawatt wind energy project. President Barry Creamer says he's excited at the prospect of producing electricity from wind.
Many different kinds of skilled labor in terms of skilled electrical trades, and of course as we go through the construction period there's a lot of different trades that are involved in that, from engineering, civil works and so on.
How many would you say, 20, 30?
Well, in the construction period itself we're probably engaged about 60 people during the construction period itself, and then there's longer term ongoing jobs in terms of support and maintenance and so on.
Mr. Creamer says the company is exploring multiple sites on the island where single turbines could be located. He says it has already completed wind resource assessments of 3 sites and the preliminary interconnection engineering with the Barbados Light and Power for the first location.
We're looking at wind sites all over the island, largely agricultural lands and strategic sites. One of the areas is up at the Mangrove Pond landfill site where they're planning a waste-to-energy project that we could supplement with some wind and some solar power up there. Another one is near the pumping station in Golden Ridge where they're a big electricity customer, so we think we could help them in a long time.
But do you have a power purchase agreement with the Light and Power?
We're in the final stages right now of negotiating that with Light and Power for a 20-year fixed price agreement to supply all the electricity produced from the plant to Light and Power under that contract.
Long-awaited plans to modernize the Barbados Statistical Service are taking shape. According to Director Victor Brown, a consultant firm has started work in this regard and will give a progress report next week. He gave the update during an awards luncheon for the service as its members observed Caribbean Statistics Day yesterday.
They have to date conducted an initial diagnostic review of the statistical system in Barbados and are expected to return to the island next week to conclude this exercise and present their findings in a series of workshops arranged with the stakeholders in this system. It is anticipated that the outcome of this project will be a set of concrete recommendations for the implementation of a national statistical system which could be coordinated by a re-engineered Barbados Statistical Service.
Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite wants the prison service to include restorative justice in its programs, particularly as part of its reintegration strategy. Now, speaking at the anniversary parade of Her Majesty's Prison Dodds, Mr. Brathwaite said restorative justice will help the victim, the community and the perpetrator. He made the comments after presenting awards to outstanding staff at the penal institution, which included Lieutenant Colonel John Nurse, who was also honored with the Medal of Service for his 10 years at the prison. While commending the Prison Aftercare Committee for its efforts and acknowledging the program will be challenged by issues facing some inmates like drug abuse and low intelligence, he said a formal agency needs to be established, noting that it is part of his vision for the service.
I do believe that we need to establish an entity, whether within the prison or outside of the prison, whose sole mandate it is to ensure that when these young men and women leave us, that they have skills that they didn't have when they come to us, so that we can produce plumbers and carpenters and cooks and computer technicians, whatever they want to be.
Well, the AG says his ministry is working tirelessly to find solutions to issues still plaguing the prison service, notably the late payment of allowances and salaries to substitute officers. He says he's already acting on a request from the Prison Officers Association for assistance with housing members.
I quickly got in contact with the Minister of Housing, who has assured me that in fact that's another area that we will be able to assist members with a few lots. I believe that the National Housing Corporation is in the process of a development pretty near to this institution.
Barbados is moving to boost exports to Costa Rica and Panama. Leading the effort is Tourism Minister Richard Seeley, who will head an official diplomatic and commercial mission to the two Central American states from next week, October 18th to the 26th. Industry Minister Dennis Kelman and Barbados' ambassador to Washington, John Beale, will be part of the delegation, which will also focus its efforts on strengthening diplomatic and cultural relations. Several other representatives from the public and private sectors will also be participating in the mission. The objectives of the initiative are to showcase Barbados' products and services and to enhance foreign exchange earning capacity of local businesses. It would also provide local manufacturers and service providers with the opportunity to establish business relations and commercial contacts within Costa Rica and Panama. The Democratic Labour Party is hosting a week of activities to commemorate the life and times of the late Prime Minister David Thompson from October 23rd to 30th. All events are open to the public. General Secretary of the DLP George Pilgrim made the announcement at party headquarters, where he listed the events starting with a church service at the St. John Parish Church on the evening of the 23rd. There will also be a night cricket competition at the Gull Hill Pavilion held under the patronage of Mara Thompson, Mr. Thompson's widow and MP for St. John. An inaugural lecture at the Arrowbarrow Centre for Creative Imagination on the 27th will feature Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. The complete list of activities has been posted on the party's website, www.dlpbarbados.org.
The theme for the period is really a reflection of his mass appeal across generations and his capacity to endear people of all walks of life. His ability as a youth leader, President of the Young Democrats, General Secretary of the Democratic Labour Party, President of the Democratic Labour Party, Opposition Leader, and later Prime Minister is testimony to a legacy that is worth sharing.
Retired insurance executive and former president of the Senate, Sir Marcus de Lambert Jordan, is dead. He passed away peacefully this afternoon. Sir Marcus was the lone recipient of a knighthood in this island's Independence Day honours in 2008. At that time, he was awarded the title of the Knight of St. Andrew for his service in the field of insurance and unswerving commitment to community service. The 82-year-old former Harrison College student spent 52 years in the insurance industry, the majority of that time at Manufacturers Life Insurance Company, or Manulife, as the head of that company's local operations. He also held the positions of president, acting president, and deputy president of the Senate on several occasions between 1986 and 1994. The natural gas pipeline, which will run between Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago, should be in place in 3 years. Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office with responsibility for energy, Senator Darcy Boyce, says they should complete negotiations with the Twin Island Republic in a matter of months.
They have granted a license, export license, to Barbados for a number of years, and we have had discussions with natural gas suppliers in Trinidad, and they seem very confident that they've got the quantities of gas that will be required. Now that discussion is one that project is one that is being managed. It's being worked on by a consortium of persons in Barbados. It's the government, the various ministries.
Well, Senator Boyce made the comments during the Caribbean Renewable Energy Forum at the Hilton Hotel yesterday. He says government makes no apology for taking its time with the project, as it is a massive investment of close to $500 million.
We are not paying for it in Barbados in terms of capital costs. There's a consortium that will raise the funding, but what we would be paying would be a transport charge for the cubic, for the gas along the pipeline.
That charge would be based on
that charge would then flow into the price of gas.
Well, students at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus are not happy with the decision to close the library on Friday evenings at 6 o'clock. And students showed their frustration by protesting last evening. President of the UE Students Guild, Odwin Trenton, says students must be involved in any decision-making process which will affect them, and this was not done. He says he understands that UE is under financial pressure, but the way management has gone about it is not acceptable.
As far as I know, the hours were changed, something was posted on the door, and it had the principal's signature on it. When I spoke to the principal, he told me that he was of the belief that it would have passed the necessary stages and it would have come to the president of the guild so that the students could have a say on it. However, this was not done. And I'm here because the students are stakeholders in this university, and actually it might be debatable, but I think we are the most important stakeholders of this university. So it is necessary that decisions like this include the students.
Mr. Trenton says the library will now be closed at 6 on Friday evenings as opposed to 11 o'clock. He says this will cause students to lose 5 hours of studying in the library, which could affect their quality of education.
We have part-time students who finish class after 9 o'clock. Right? Nowhere else will you see a library closing before the class is finished. You understand? No, this is on Fridays, and it is rumored that it will be done on Saturdays as well, and we won't allow it.
At least 5 teams have been presented with their official wear for the David Thompson Memorial Constituency Council's Football Classic, which kicks off tomorrow. Minister of Social Care and Community Empowerment Steve Blackett presented the St. John, St. Michael South East, St. Michael North and Christchurch East Constituency Councils with their T-shirts at the Gull Hill playing field yesterday evening. The tournament officially gets underway tomorrow at 5 p.m. at Gull Hill playing field. The opening encounter is between St. Michael South East and St. John. Matches will take place on Wednesdays, Fridays and Saturdays. Now the teams will play in 6 zones named after outstanding national football players and administrators: Jeffrey Goddard, Victor Gass Clark, Chrissy Smith, Reggie Haynes, Don Norville and Ansel Marquez. Prime Minister Frondell Stewart will deliver the feature address and inspect the teams at the opening. MP for St. John and wife of the late Prime Minister Mara Thompson will also speak at the opening.